Good morning, everyone. It's Mary. It is time for another Monday Morning Leadership Bite. And this Wednesday is Valentine's Day, but it is also the start of the Lenten season. And if you grew up Catholic like I did, you know exactly what that means. It is a period right before Easter where many people vow to give up something or meditate or do things to honor the time that Jesus spent fasting in the desert. And Crossroads Community Church used to, a few years ago, do a Lenten challenge, rice and beans, just for 1 week. We eat rice and beans, and we take the money that we normally would spend going out to eat or groceries or lunch, and instead eat rice and beans and then give that money and donate. And we pull that money together, and thousands of dollars was raised, and we give that to charity. The last 2 years, I've done something called the 40 Acts of Kindness. It is actually a group out of the UK. You can find more information. I'll post it on my page as well as the Ember Carrier page if you want to find more information about that. And basically, it's 40 acts of random kindness and generosity throughout the Lenten season. So it got me thinking as when I'm preparing for this, is that can you have kindness and generosity in leadership? And I think the answer is yes. So this week we're going to talk about kindness, and we'll unpack that. And then next week we'll talk about generosity. But I think if you want to be a strong leader, you also can be a kind leader. Oftentimes critics will say, oh, if you're kind or you're being soft, you're being weak. And I think that's simply not true. I think there's a lot of things you can be in this world. There's a lot of things you can have in this world. But to be kind, there's never such thing as too much kindness. And I think, as a matter of fact, we need more kindness in this world. So I think strong leadership and kindness actually fit together. And successful leaders will be kind with their team members. They'll be kind with their coworkers. It's actually very motivating to do such. And we don't talk about the word kindness in industry. Instead, we talk motivating. And what I mean by that is we're being positive and encouraging to others. We're inspiring others to do great things. We're making them feel good about themselves and the work that they do. And we help people gain confidence. Isn't this what we want in leaders? Well, guess what? That's you being kind as a leader. So in order to be relatable and accessible as a leader, you have to be kind. So I have 5 powerful ways that you can be more kind as a leader. Number 1, see eye to eye with your teammates and coworkers. What I mean by that is you strip away the titles, you strip away the hierarchy. It doesn't matter if the person is sweeping the floors or the person is the financial guru of the company. Instead, you see on the same level, you see eye to eye with that person and you relate to them as a person. You invest with them as a person. And you don't do this without giving up authority and leadership. You don't have to do that. You can still be CEO of a company. You can still be VP of division, and yet understand that people have hopes and dreams. They have fears. They have things that are going on in their lives. And if you can see eye to eye with them and relate to them, this is going to make you more accessible as a leader. Number 2, build real relationships with others. What do I mean by that? So a few years ago, I remember taking someone out to lunch. She looked like she was having a bad day, and I said, hey, let's just go out to lunch. And we had a great lunch, great conversation. It wasn't necessarily about work. It was just getting to know that person. And she confessed to me that no one has ever taken her out to lunch before. There have been team lunches before, work-related, but no one said one-on-one, go out to lunch with her before. And ever since then, I've tried to do that. That if I've got time, taking someone out to lunch or out to coffee or even meeting up with them on the weekends, just to relate to them and build a relationship. We spend 1/3, if not more, of our lives at work. And it boggles me when people say things like, I don't want people to know me that way at work, when we spend so much time there. Why not build those relationships at work? So build real relationships. Number 3, be someone that people can trust. Be trustworthy. And how does that look? That looks like, from a leadership standpoint, is that it is a safe place that if someone comes to you and say, I'm having a bad day, whatever that might be, something's at work, or they're just not feeling it, they're not feeling it at work. Maybe they're not feeling about the assignment that they've been given. They don't have the confidence in the assignment that's been given to them. That instead of you using that against them, instead you relate to them. Go back to point number 1. And you actually are someone that they can trust and come to you and say, you know what? Encourage them. You can do this, you've got this, and it's not going to impact work at all. So being someone that you can be trusted, and vice versa. You can do the exact same thing to your coworkers and not have them see you as being weak. If you can do that, a very powerful way to be kind and be more successful as a leader. Number 4, forgive. Forgive and be forgiven. That the little things that happen, people say things, people do something. I had a situation where someone was being a little snippy with me on email. And a few days later, they saw me and they said, hey, I hope you're not mad at me. And I go, why would I be mad at you? And they said, well, and they recognized that they might have been a little snippy in email. And I said, no, I'm not mad at you. I recognize you had a bad day, and it's okay. That simple act made that person trust me more. And they were like, you know what? They came to me, and I forgave them. If I said, oh yeah, we'll never do that again, and I gave an attitude right back to them, that doesn't help anything. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't help them. And the same way, as leaders, we're going to make mistakes. We're human. And it's such a human flaw of ours that we can't somehow forgive people, or we can't admit our mistakes. If we can admit our mistakes and say, you know what, mea culpa, I'm sorry, I did something, I said something, whatever it might be, and have the team forgive us is a very powerful way to be kind as a leader. And lastly, number 5, showing gratitude. It is missing big time in business today, where we don't take the time just to say thank you, give the attaboy, the attagirl, the pat on the back, a handwritten note, just something that says, I appreciate the work you're doing. We can often do this through our military and our law enforcement agencies, especially when something goes wrong. Why can't we do it every day and say, you know what? I'm glad you showed up today. I'm glad you're here today. Don't just see it as just their job to do. Yes, it is just their job to do it, but yet we can still have gratitude when they do that. So my invitation to you this week is to find a way to be more kind at work, to bring kindness into your interaction with others. And I'm going to go a step further. If you really want to see how this kindness thing works and how we can actually really impact our world and our business world, join me in the Lenten Challenge of 40 Acts of Kindness and Generosity. We'll find more information about that. I'll be talking about it on my page. It starts on Wednesday. You can start simple, and I'll be giving some tips on how to be. You can subscribe to the page, and I'll also be giving my own tips of how I'm actually using that to be more kind as a leader. So, you want to be a powerful leader? Be more kind. Thank you for joining me for this Monday's Leadership Bite.